Morning. Now, I always find it interesting what other people use in their kit as opposed to what I use. Now, there is no right and wrong. Of course, you use kit that suits you, your environment, and where you go. So, a few of you have probably seen this little bundle on some of my videos, and I thought I'd share with you what's in my firelighting kit. Right, what's in the little bundle? Pretty simple stuff, really. I've got my opener. It's a good place to keep it, so I can always find it. You go out with a big bag or multiple pockets in a jacket. It's not big. I end up searching all over the place. If it's in here, I can find it. The other reason, on these openals, the spine is very, very sharp. It's a real good 90-degree spine. So for a fire steel, works brilliantly. Don't even open it. I just strike it in a closed fashion like that. Wouldn't be without that. One of the fire steels, I think there is two in here actually, but there's one new addition, one of those collapsible bellows. I found that very effective, and it's worth carrying for, you know, weighs nothing. I've got my little clipper lighter with the long chimney. Not normally for lighting fires, but I use that for lighting things like my Trangia alcohol stove. You don't have to get your fingers too close. You don't have to set your hand alight. Having that little extension on there works really well. Oh, yeah, there's the old fire steel. King Alfred cake or cramp ball. Never used it. Never had to. But I thought, yeah, I'll throw it in there when I saw one. I keep my little sharpening stone in there. Not that it's very good, but if you did do a lot of damage to your blade, you could get the worst out of it with that as a temporary measure. And the rest is just cotton wool balls. Not very bushcrafty or traditional, I know, but they're simple and they work so well. All you just need to do is just open them up, fluff them up a little bit. They take spark brilliantly. They light just like that. I know a lot of people add Vaseline and wax and things like that to make them burn a little bit longer. To be honest, I've never had to do that. I've tried it, and yes, it does last a little longer. But if you've got a good amount of you know, dry tinder, for the length of time that burns on its own is fine. So I don't bother with the Vaseline anymore. Literally just the plain cotton wool balls. The only thing that's missing out of here, because I've run out, is the little hexy blocks that they use in the military stoves, them waxy ones that stink a bit. I normally keep a couple of those in there for the reason that they burn hot, and they burn for, what, 8-9 minutes, something like that. And on a damp day, they can be brilliant for getting a fire going. It's just like having a little fire starter, fire block, for like the sort of thing that you'd use on a barbecue. They work very well for that. Although I have got some other fire starters at home, which I might transfer into here for wet conditions. But generally speaking, cotton wool is all I need, along with these little bits and pieces. None of it's, you know, particularly heavy kit. None of it's essential, really, but handy to have. It's not heavy, doesn't take up a lot of weight, goes in the bag no problem at all, or just in your pocket. That's what I keep in mind. Now, a lot of people will say, that's not particularly bushcrafty. You're not making friction fire, using a bow drill, that sort of thing. And as much as I think bushcraft skills are very interesting, and a lot of people like doing bushcraft type stuff as a hobby, it's just not something I'm into, to be honest. Yes, I can do it, but let's be honest, compared with using something like this, it's hard work. If you enjoy that sort of stuff, fair play to you. But personally, getting into the great outdoors, doing a bit of camping, I want it to be a nice, relaxing experience, not a trial. I keep it simple. Mr. Fox just come to say hello. Camo obviously works. Well, that was nice and unexpected, having Mr. Fox come to pay a visit. He was, let's have a think, about 15 feet to my left. I saw him when he was about sort of 25 feet off, was closing, sniffing the floor. I wasn't moving, so he didn't spot me. It was only when I picked up the camera he saw me and froze. By the time I got the camera up, I'm hoping I just caught the fleeting disappearance as he ran off and he bottled it. But still lovely to see. Well, I've had a nice morning's wander. This is a very large woodland, but strangely there's only 4 fallow deer in here. Now I say that because I've seen them multiple times over a few years, and it's always the same 4. The only time there's an extra is when it's that time of year and Mr. Stag turns up. But he obviously doesn't live here. He just pays the ladies a visit at the appropriate time. So, seeing as there's only 4 of them, and it's a very large wood, like I say, it's something quite special when you spot them. It was really nice to see them. That and Mr. Fox coming to say hello, purely by accident, when I was sitting down looking at some footage I filmed this morning. Just sitting there quietly. He comes strolling up, didn't even see me, stopped about 15 feet away. He only saw me when I moved to pick up the camera to try and catch him on film. But it was nice to see him all the same. First time I've seen a fox in here. They're obviously in here, but crafty buggers. You just don't see them. So it was really nice to see him in broad daylight and up close. And the best part, he was looking very healthy, which is a good sign for the woodland.